Hi, I am Jennifer Hale, welcoming you to the acting.skillshub.life YouTube channel, where we talk about all things voiceover, voice acting, etc., etc., etc. If this channel's been helpful for you, please feel free to share, do the likey, subscribey, all the things. All right, what we're going to talk about today is what do you do when you want to train but no one's available, or your budget right now is just not going to afford anybody to help you that you have to pay. What do you do when you want to DIY it for a little while? All right, here's some guidelines you can work with. Let's start with looking at things that inspire you. Let's look at shows that you love, games that you love, commercials that you think are really cool, anything that has inspired you, audiobooks. Listen to them and start breaking down for yourself what are the elements of them. If it's an audiobook, like, wow, there were 12 characters in that and they did something unique for each one. Wow, what do characters look like for me? Who do I know that I could imitate? Who do I know that I could copy? And then break out your tape recorder. There's some old verbiage for you. Break out your voice memos. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You can just send yourself an audio message. Just practicing it. Just log it. Make sure you log it. And it's nice to have a written log of that kind of stuff as well. So you want to get inspired by things. You can check online for reliable sources of information. This is the thing. There is so much predatory activity in this industry. It's really disheartening. It makes me mad. And I would love to, just override all of that and throw it out. So you want to look for free information from reliable sources, people you can trust. What's a reliable source? It's somebody who does this professionally or is a trusted advisor to people who do this professionally. I talked about this a couple videos ago. It's somebody who is a casting director. They hire actors all the time. They're what we call a buyer. Buyers are also voice directors, people who bring the voice actors in and hire them for the jobs. Those are your buyers. Trusted people who are doing it today. And listen to your gut. Your gut's going to tell you, oh, this doesn't feel right. And then your brain will jump in and go, well, so-and-so said it was great. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't feel right, you trust that. Trust it, trust it, trust it, trust it. Okay? So there'll be all kinds of interviews. Look for behind the scenes footage. Sometimes you'll find webinars and things like that out there, and check those out and see what they have to say. There are going to be little tidbits everywhere. Just make it a practice. I set aside this time for myself each week on these 2 afternoons or this morning or at this thing when I'm, walking, riding a bike, exercising, whatever, to listen to a podcast about this or to listen to that interview on YouTube about that and just pick up a little something, just a little something every day. Change your mindset from the giant stroke of opportunity to the little bits every day, building a fortress that is unimpeachable, that is going to get through no matter what, that it's going to build you what you want, all right? So you can find all kinds of things online that are free. Just make sure it's from people who are really doing this and not just people who are selling programs or asking you to be a member so you can pay to audition. Yes, there's a lot of pay to play out there, and some of it's very much legit. Be careful. Some of them are doing some AI stuff that is not cool. Read the fine print on that, by the way. All right, so find those sources, but build yourself a routine around them. Make a specific time each day or week that you show up to digest that content, all right? Now, let's look at self-assessment. As you go through, and you're going to do some practicing, because practicing is part of learning. Remember our pillars on SkillsHub. Learn it, practice it, check it after you plan it, all right? So you've picked something, you're learning, practicing, and you're checking it with people who know. All right, so in this case, the person you know is you. You're going to self-assess. So what do? Maybe you could assess your physical technique. Practice in front of the mirror. Are you standing upright to access all your vocal instrument? Notice I just sat up better because I was slouching. Are you standing upright? Do you need to work on tongue twisters? Are you moving your entire mouth? Are things coming together the way you need them to physically? All right, self-assessment. Record yourself and play it back. Play it back with an open mind and an open heart that's focused on what you're doing well as what you want to improve, right? Play it back and notice where your sweet spot is. Notice the things that come naturally to you. Self-assessment. That requires you recording and playing back. Recording and playing back, okay? Really important to do. Create a script library for yourself. Collect scripts for things that you like. Write your own. If there's a commercial that really interests you, like write it down and practice doing it. Magazine ads are great that way, if you can find them anymore. Print ads, things online that you see, like the pop-up ads. Just screenshot it or take a picture of it and use it as commercial copy to practice. Game scripts, you can find those out there. Fan fiction. Find things to practice with and build that library and sort it by genre. Like, here's all my animation stuff. Here's my game stuff. Here's my commercial stuff. Here's my narration stuff, my corporate narration. Here's some e-learning. I like medical language. I'm going to get really good at that. That is an amazing skill, and people get paid for that. So find genres that interest you and build script libraries around those. This next one is free and really fills your soul, even if you're an introvert. Find your people. Find your people. There's a great saying by Jim Rohn, which is, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you. Actually, let me rephrase that. Surround yourself who you feel inspired to be your best around. It's not anyone's job to bring out anything in you. It's your job to bring it forth from yourself. But surround yourself with people who have similar goals. Maybe who are slightly further down the path, or who are not quite as far as you, but boy, they work hard. Things about them that you love and want to adopt. You inspire each other and uplift each other, right? Lastly, set yourself a daily challenge. It could be as simple as mimicking a commercial you heard, or as complex as creating a whole new character voice from scratch. Set yourself a little challenge. It doesn't have to be daily, but every time you practice. Like, I'm going to try to sound like that kid I passed at the mall. Or I'm going to try to nail my grandmother. That sounded really bad. I'm going to try to sound just like my grandmother on this one, okay? Set yourself a daily challenge, right? I'm going to improv a scene. I'm gonna just nail this sound and come up with a new thing here. I'm gonna do something completely different I've never done before, and I'm gonna practice today being really uncomfortable and really sucking at this. I'm gonna just do things today that I'm no good at, so I get used to the feeling of floundering. That's a really important thing to get used to in your practice, because you'll go into sessions and things will feel like, whoa, like uncomfortable. You need to be really comfortable with discomfort. So that can be part of your self-directed learning. So many things, at the heart and soul of self-directed learning is just creating a system and a structure for yourself where you just show up. Number 1, you decide that what you want is reasonable. Number 2, you make time and calendar space for it. And number 3, you show up whether you feel like it or not, over and over and over. And number 4, you remember the fun parts, and you have a good time. So let us know what questions you have, what your experiences have been down in the comments below. Do the likey, subscribey thing, and share if you think this can be helpful. And we're so, so glad you're here. You can find us at acting.skillshub.life. Have a great day.